Welcome back, everybody, to Body Bags. I'm Critter Buster, and this week's theme is midnight releasing / brain damage films. And I don't own a lot of those titles simply because movies themselves usually aren't very good by brain damage films, in my opinion. I have several of them, and every one that I've seen I did not like. The quality of them is usually really, really bad, and usually the story is just really, really stupid. But that's just my opinion. I know there's a few people out there that really like some of the movies. So this week's theme is brain damage films or midnight releasing films. And the one that I chose is from midnight releasing, and it is called Deadfall Trail. And I don't really have much to say about the movie. It's kind of a slow-driven movie anyways. But I just, for some reason, I could not get into the actual movie. It's more like survival horror than it is a straight-up horror film. But it's still considered a horror movie, so that's why I'm reviewing it. But basically, it's these three guys who go on a trip into the wilderness, and they're going to try to, it's called like a survival trip. So they're going there to show each other how to survive and do what they can to be real men to survive for 2 weeks. Well, sure enough, the characters and stuff one of them does something really stupid, and it causes one of them to get hurt. Now, before I get started in the actual story here, let me say something really quick. These characters act on day 2 like they've been there for about 3 weeks already. On day 2, they are acting like they've had no water for over 2 weeks. They've had nothing to eat for over 2 weeks, and they are miserable. And that was something that automatically annoyed me as soon as the movie started, was because they had a bottle of water with them on day 1. So on day 2, there should be no reason why they are acting like they are dying of thirst with nothing to eat. I don't know, it really, really annoyed me. So I was kind of put off by it initially when I saw that anyways. But the movie is just so slow that I just couldn't get into it from that point on either. But basically, they're trying to set up this little rig to capture an animal or something. And it's like this 1600 rigging system where they put like this giant rocks with sticks hanging out up on the lever to when something walks under it'll fall. And I don't know, it's really weird the way they did it. But of course something's not right, and they're trying to fix it, and one of the guys gets injured, and ultimately he ends up dying. And because of this, the other two people, they end up not liking each other, they end up hating each other, and they are forced to try to survive together. But the thing is like, it turns in from trying to survive together to them hating each other so much and thinking that the other one is doing these things to each other, that they're wanting to try to kill each other now. So it comes into like this cat and mouse game toward the end of it, like the last 20 minutes. But nothing really happens. The dialogue in it is just not interesting at all. The acting, it's not that bad of acting, actually. I thought the acting was fairly decent. But usually when it comes to like survival horror, usually the acting has to be like superb in order to get that story driven out there and to get those characters to be believable and think that these things are actually happening. And they just did not have it for this movie. If this would have been on a bigger budget, a studio budget, it could have been really, really good and really well done. But the fact that it is a super, super low budget movie that focuses specifically on story and, well, not really story, but I guess character development and acting, and they just did not have it for this movie. And that's one reason why I couldn't get into it, was simply because of that. So it's better than most brain damage films that I've seen, I'll say that, but on top of everything, I just couldn't get into it. And I don't really have much to say about it other than that. So if you guys are interested in survival horror, maybe you'll like this a little bit better than a typical brain damage film, but I just couldn't. So thanks guys for watching the review. I hope it was worth it. I know I didn't really say much about it, but I'm sorry for that, but that's all I really had. So Deadfall Trail, midnight releasing from 2009. See you next week, guys, for another review.